So the real main cause for water bills to go up, other than that normal usage, is water leaks. And typically, the most common water leak we see in our business is a leaking toilet. And there's two different types of leaking toilets. There's the almost completely invisible one, and that's where the flapper goes down, but it doesn't go down quite all the way, and there's just a little trickle of water coming out of the tank into the bowl. And then about every 5-6 minutes, the float will go down in the tank to where it causes the tank to fill up some more. And you'll hear water run for about 30 seconds, and then it'll stop. In my house, I'm the only person that has ever heard that happen. I've had it happen to 6 different toilets or multiple times to the same toilets in the last 5 years. Not a single other soul has ever heard it, because I'm kind of in tune to the water business for some reason. So that's the invisible toilet leak, and that can run you $10, $15, $20 a day with that silent, because it happens every 5 minutes and it runs for 30 seconds every 5 minutes kind of deal. So that's the most common type of leak, and that one's invisible. The other type of leak is a little louder, and that's when the flapper gets stuck open and the toilet just runs full bore. A friend of mine had one of those in his house. His teenager was using the toilet, used it at night before he went to bed. It ran all night long. My friend discovered it in the morning. That was $100. One night running full bore, 8 gallons a minute, running for 10 hours, it can be a $100 addition to your water bill in one night of a toilet leaking. So don't let those things sit. Fix them. We have an adjustment policy for unusual water consumption. When you can prove that there's been a leak, we can go to the city's website, to the public utilities page. We'll do adjustments within, there are some guidelines. We won't let people do adjustments 4 times a year, but there's guidelines. But we'll do adjustments for those types of leaks, especially when you can document the type of leak that you had and that you made the repair. Adjustments are part of our normal business. Those are the most common types of water leaks, that toilet. There are other ones that are hard to see, the ones that happen under the house or in the yard line. Sometimes those will be steady leaks, but not big enough to create a big wet spot and bubble up out of the ground. It might create a soft spot in the yard. Sometimes it won't even do that. It'll follow the path of the pipe and distribute itself out in the yard, and you won't realize it's happening. So those are leaks on yard lines, and those are harder to find. The way to check for that, if you open the lid to your water meter, then you'll find the water meter down inside that cast iron lid. It's about this big, made of cast iron. And if you pop that lid off the cast iron box, then inside you'll find generally a brass piece of hardware, and there's a small lid on that brass piece of hardware. You can flip that lid up and you can then see the dial on the water meter itself. Most of our water meters have got a small triangle on it. Most of them are red, some of them are black, but there's a small triangle. If that triangle is spinning, that means that water is moving through the meter. Now, just because you think everything is turned off doesn't necessarily mean everything is really turned off. There's one, I'm not going to call it a bandit, but there's one sneaker in there in the house. When your ice machine is filling back up, you have turned everything off, but you haven't turned off the ice machine, and I've seen that confuse people, because we'll be there at the water meter looking down to see if that triangle is spinning, and there suddenly it starts to spin, then it stops. And sometimes, even though everything else is turned off, the ice machine will fool you. Generally though, when that triangle is spinning, it means water is flowing through the meter, and something is causing water in the house or in the yard line to come out of the system.